Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by LouisianaSports.net. Y'all nearly crashed the site earlier today. I'm Matt.
Hey, Will.
Hey, bud.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Braxton Rarudo.
Draw. There goes Braxton.
Those are Z's. They look like R's to me. You're cheating. Rizzuto's a baseball player. He's not even he's a person, not a baseball player. It's from Billy Madison. Don't worry about it. Mr. Toby Tomplay. It's not even a word. He's a baseball player. That's it. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Busy day. Of course, the Jaden Daniels saga is kind of dominating headlines. I did tweet out a photo, shared it on all my social media, actually, if you're interested. And you may not be, and I'm not being funny with it. I think I hear something playing. There's something playing, Braxton. Okay. With LSU or Jaden's camp issuing the cease and desist last week, according to ESPN, I think maybe there's a question, certainly in the conversation I had with folks at LSU today, about whether or not they intend to, or to what degree they might honor Jaden's request on the cease and desist. Jaden's stuff is still up. I mean, they haven't taken anything down. His Heisman's still there. I mean, there it is right there. I mean, you walk in football. If you've never been in football ops, and I recognize a lot of people haven't been, when you walk in the front door, there's a desk, like a reception desk, and you turn immediately to the right, pull up, picture up, Paulie, and that's what you see. Immediately to your right. It's a hallway with all the trophies. And just boom, 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 bing, bang, boom. The first thing right in the middle, right in the center, are the 3 Heismans. And the first one's Jaden's, because it's the most recent, right? Then the national championship trophies, all the individual awards. And then Jaden's, there's a wall. If you're walking toward the team room where we do press conferences, the entire wall is all the All-Americans. They have these plaques, pull it up, Paul. And Jaden's All-American plaque is still there. So it's a photo of the player, so like a black and white sort of silhouette photo with their name, position, and the year they were an All-American. So Jaden's stuff is still up. So the conversations I had today, I think it was, I sincerely hope it doesn't come to this. Reading Jaden's Instagram story, where he said he's solely focused right now on getting ready for, or being in camp right now with the Commanders and getting ready for the NFL season, which he should be, by the way. Like, that should be his sole focus right now. But he said, like, his team at LSU have some things to work on, and hopefully they can do so. The word he used was privately. Hopefully they can do that. Then all of this becomes just a total non-issue. It's a moot point, if it can be, hopefully, where we don't even have to consider this. But the conversations that I was having earlier today with some folks at LSU asking the question, well, like, if you do honor the cease and desist, like, what does that mean? Do you not use Jaden highlights and highlight videos? The NFL, the Tigers in the NFL video they played in Tiger Stadium during timeouts. Like, do you take Jaden out of that? I mean, there's the quarterback route. Like, you go through football ops, and I mean, Jaden's everywhere. He won a freaking Heisman, man. I mean, he's got his All-American plaques, his Heisman stuff. I mean, there's big floor-to-ceiling wallpaper photo of Jaden in there. I mean, of course you're going to display your Heisman winner proudly and honor his accomplishments. Or do you just take all that stuff down? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I don't think LSU has a great answer. But they got the cease and desist a week ago after it became public that DJ Pickett was wearing the number. We only found out about it when Mark Schlabach at ESPN broke the news on Wednesday night. So we're continuing to see and learn and hear more about it. And as we get more, we'll pass it on. But hopefully they're able to LSU and Jaden collectively together are able to work through this. So while all of that was happening, so very candidly, had a lot of phone calls this morning. Our practice availability today was at 10:05 a.m. and I had a tweet typed out and then sort of decided, well, probably should write out a full story, which ended up being a good decision. It did great traffic, as you might imagine, for LouisianaSports.net. So when we went into practice for our 15 minutes or so, I stayed on the near field by our entrance to watch the defense and the special teams. Hunt went over and watched the offense. Of note, Jace Brown was in a gold jersey but participated. Trey'Dez Green was in a gold jersey but participated. When we were there on Tuesday, Jabari Mack was in a gold jersey on the far field working out with a trainer. Today, he was in the gold jersey but working out with the receivers. And Winnie Watkins was absent for the third consecutive practice. Lane Kiffin was asked about Watkins being absent and said, I don't talk about injuries, so didn't give a reason for it. One thing I will tell you is that, again, this is something I was told off the record. After Tuesday's practice, all the days run together sometimes. The night practice they had 2 nights ago on Tuesday, Watkins was not out there during the media viewing portion, but I was told after practice that Watkins returned in a gold jersey and participated in the team portion of the drill. Now, when it comes to Trey'Dez Green, I've already told you that. There's nothing wrong with Trey'Dez Green. They have him in gold for the same reason they have quarterbacks in gold. He is way too valuable. Nobody hit him. I kind of think the same thing might be true with Jace Brown. When you go watch Jace Brown run around out there is nothing at all that is discernible that would be limiting him. I think you're just talking about guys that are their best players, and they're trying to keep them healthy and cut down on hits. Some of you have suggested, well, it's a full contact game, and you got to practice getting hit and all that. I understand that, but at what cost? Especially, I want you to think through this. Right? Put yourself in Lane's mind if you can, where he often talks about how this is the best way to say it. When Lane talked about the 9-game schedule, conference schedule, one of the things he talked about was at Ole Miss, they were 20-0 in the non-conference. They intentionally scheduled light out of conference so they had easy wins, and in many cases, they had their starters out of the game. So their snap counts were lower. So their guys were fresher later in the season because they were playing fewer snaps. They didn't have to go play 70, 80 snaps against really tough opponents. You had exhale spots where they were getting depth, experience, and getting their starters out of the game. Well, if you're not going to have that luxury in a 9-game conference schedule and Clemson, maybe the way you reduce some of those hits and the grind and the wear and tear is here in camp. You don't let them get hit in camp. Maybe that's one of the ways they do it, at least early in camp, and maybe you ramp them up as camp goes on. That's just an assumption on my part. I'm opining here. I'm theorizing, hypothesizing. Maybe that's what they're looking at. So DJ Pickett was out there wearing number 5. That should come as no surprise whatsoever. A couple of my notes. I actually made the decision that I wanted to go watch the place kickers because the defense was just doing, they're hitting sleds and the ends are bending around, tackling dummies and stuff. We're not seeing anything of consequence. So I was like, let me go watch the kickers. Maybe I can chart some field goals from the place kickers. And all the place kickers were lined up on the far field, and they had the ball just flat on the ground, and they were swiping their leg past the ball, kicking air. So I didn't even get to chart field goals. They didn't even actually kick balls while we were out there. So it was one of those days where we pretty consistently are getting to see less and less from during our allotted availability. So it's just enough time really to go take rolls, see who's in gold, no contact, maybe chart the throws from the quarterbacks and receivers, and maybe see how the assistant coaches are working. For example, Ed Ogeron was with Kevin Peoples today working with the defensive tackles. Late last week, he was with Sterling Lucas working with the edge rushers. So today it was Peoples and Ogeron working with the tackles. It was Lucas and Lou Spanos working with the edge rushers. The safeties were working on dropping in coverage, catching an interception and then returning it. linebackers were doing interception drills. The offensive linemen who were working combo blocks on Tuesday were working one-on-one blocks today. Just the stuff you'd see in individual settings. But the notable, the newsworthy stuff was what we just went through with some of the guys in gold. So we'll keep eyes and keep tabs on those guys as we move throughout the remainder of our allotted availability in fall camp as we get closer to LSU and Clemson. If anything breaks, we'll certainly share it with you. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen and SouthPointVW.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at SouthPointVW.com. SouthPointVW.com. If you walk out in the parking lot here, you go to my parking spot and you'll see a black Volkswagen Atlas Crossport, brand new 2026. And it's funny for me sometimes when people say, man, you really do drive a Volkswagen. Yeah, I do. Because I don't feel like I can sit here every day and tell you how great Volkswagens are and the great experience I've had with South Point Volkswagen over the years if I'm not driving a Volkswagen. What do I always say? Actions speak louder than words. Watch what I do. Don't listen to what I say. Well, my wife and I both drive the Volkswagen. You go to our house, garage door goes up. She's got an Atlas. I have a Crossport. We love it. Safe, stylish, affordable, and safe. I said that first, but I said it twice because it matters. 9 different IIHS top safety picks, the highest safety designation. You're driving affordable, fun vehicles with great luxury features, with great safety features as well. It's South Point Volkswagen. Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer is South Point Volkswagen. SouthPointVW.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? All right, it's After Further Review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. It's interesting that I'm kind of rolling through a lot of the comments here on the text line. And overwhelmingly, man, the feeling from so many of you is opposite Jaden Daniels. And it's such a bummer, man. And by the way, I'm not saying you're wrong. It's just, I think Jaden and his mom, his team, whatever, really think they just misjudged this one entirely. How the reaction was going to be to this. And it's poorly thought out, probably bad advice, bad counsel, and it's led to a very uncomfortable situation. So hopefully they can rectify it. I would say if I'm just doing like a loose calculation from all the feedback I've gotten on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and comments and my text line, it's like 95-5. Like 95% are siding with LSU or just against Jaden handling it the way that he is. But it was interesting because I did an interview earlier today with a radio station in D.C. as they're covering the Commanders, and the justification for Jaden behaving this way was interesting until you asked the question, like, that dude's is in training camp with an NFL team. Is this what Commanders fans really want their starting quarterback occupying his headspace? Is his college jersey number? And I think, that was kind of a snap back to reality moment for some. So we'll follow it. All right, it's After Further Review. Thanks for hanging out with us here. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. Kellen Moore met with reporters after the Saints joint practice today with Jacksonville. Let's hear a little bit more of what Kellen had to say. And we do need to dive into what Lane Kiffin said as well outside of practice today in the Jaden stuff. LSU is now more than a full week into fall camp. So this was a good sort of point, couple of days of full pads now for Lane Kiffin to meet with reporters. So we'll let you hear some of what Lane had to say as well. Stay with us. It's AFR.
AFR.
If you want to feel your best, our friends at Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness can help. That sounds great, Matt. I don't have ED. Cool. Congrats. I'm pumped for you. I'm glad you don't. But if you do, they can help. But there's so much more than just ED treatments over at Goodwood. Hormone replacement therapy, peptide therapy. Huge, huge part of helping you have a holistic approach to feeling better, inside out. For example, they have growth hormone peptides. Now, keep in mind, this is not like Mark McGuire in 1998. These are strands of amino acids designed to help your body stimulate its natural growth hormone production. So you inject growth hormone peptide when you sleep, and it helps stimulate your body's natural growth hormone production. You sleep better at night, you build muscle, you burn fat. Learn more at yourgoodwood.com. Lowest prices, never any contracts. Yourgoodwood.com. Went with Doug and Bryant Bocock, my buddy Matt Anderson. The four of us went, had a couple cocktails, sat down. We did family style. So we ordered 3 different cuts of meat. They were all Sagrera cuts. We got the bone-in strip, the cowboy ribeye, and the filet. They sliced them all up family style so we could all try a little bit of everything. Matt ordered the veal parm, which I tell you about all the time. So we were able to slice that up and I'll sample it as well. I'm telling you, you can't go wrong at Supper Club regardless of whatever it is you want to eat. Listen, we were just 4 friends having a kind of a business dinner, and it was a great way to spend a Wednesday night. Maybe it's a date night. Maybe you're trying to close some business. Maybe you're celebrating an anniversary, a birthday. No matter the occasion, it's always a great reason to get by Supper Club. Book your reservation at supperclubbtr.com. Supperclubbtr.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
Thought there was some good stuff. Like anything in training camp, there's going to be some reps we're going to want back. We're going to need to correct ourselves, improve, sustaining a couple longer drives, which was good for our guys. This is kind of their first test of these 8-10 play drives, which is more real football. So this is their exposure to that, and that's what you're not getting in a preseason game by not playing in it. And so I thought that was really good work for our guys, and they just got to get acclimated to that setting.
Kellen Moore after practice on Thursday. Ross Jackson will be here in 40 minutes from right now. We'll ask him what he saw. I got a question on the show text line from Sean, who said, hey, Matt, should the Saints give Rattler a 2-year extension worth $4 to $8 million? He's worth every penny, if you ask me. So the easy way to answer that question is, as I look at Spencer Rattler, who signed a 4-year rookie contract worth $4.3 million, and he's now in year 3 of his rookie deal. Yeah, I mean an extension that would pay him a relatively small amount, $4 to $8 million for over a couple of years. Sure. That's a big gap, by the way. It's basically doubling the number. But the only reason I hesitate is because I look at what this preseason is going to look like, and I wonder if Spencer Rattler is going to be more valuable to another team as someone who can go compete for a starting job. So if let's say hypothetically over 3 preseason games, Rattler plays exceptionally well, and you have situations around the NFL with injured quarterbacks or bad quarterback situations, and teams are looking to bring in someone to compete for maybe a starting job, like what happens in Minnesota. I mean, Kyler Murray's there, who has now been named the starter in Minnesota. Like, what if that doesn't go well? Or what if you have an injury and a team suddenly needs a starter? Look at what happened in Indianapolis a year ago, where late in the season they're pulling Phillip Rivers out of retirement. I mean, it's part of the NFL and injuries happen. I could look at Cincinnati a year ago when Joe Burrow got hurt. Now, I mean, Joe Flacco is there now, but I guess my point is the only hesitancy I would have to extending Rattler, and I guess there's no really downside of extending Rattler. If someone wanted him, they could trade for him, take on his contract as well. But is Rattler more valuable to the Saints as a backup, or is he more valuable as a trade piece? Like, could you acquire assets for Spencer Rattler? Now, we have seen in the past the value of a backup quarterback, namely in 2019 when Drew Brees got injured, missed 5 games, and Teddy Bridgewater went 5-0 as Brees' backup starting. So there's value in having a good backup. I mean, we could look at extreme examples. A Nick Foles winning a Super Bowl as the backup in Philadelphia in 2017. Tom Brady is Drew Bledsoe's backup. I mean, there are extreme examples, but mostly what you would want is a competent backup who can keep the train on the track. So I would look and say, are you confident Zach Wilson could be that guy? And if the answer is yes, and Rattler has more value, I would still be more interested, more inclined in trading Spencer Rattler to a team that is in need of a potential starter at quarterback that would be interested in taking a flyer on Rattler and giving you maybe like what if you could somehow recoup a day 2 draft pick. Like you used a 5 on Rattler. What if you could get a 5? Like what if you can get a 5th round pick back for a guy that's just going to be a backup for you? And you've got a guy that was a former number 2 overall pick sitting on your bench backing up Tyler Shough. I guess I'll look at it that way. So I don't know. I don't have a hard and fast feeling on it today with Rattler. I really would like to see how does he look in the preseason. We'll get 3 preseason games. If he looks really good, maybe his value increases tremendously, and someone's willing to give you a 3rd round pick for him. I mean, that seems ambitious, but I mean, I would do that deal. I'd rather a 3rd round pick than a guy that's going to sit on my bench. So, something to consider. All right, it's after further review. Thanks for hanging out with us here. We are brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the Saints. When you're watching the Saints and the Jags and their joint practices, of course, you'll see that red Rouse's patch on the Saints practice jerseys. Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Making groceries, getting ready for your game watch party this weekend. Want something to throw on the grill? Get on by Rouse's, Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. And speaking of grills, Rouse's has a giveaway right now where they're giving away a grill. You want to see how you can enter? Go to Rouse's.com and you can enter to win. Can you scroll down there, Paul? You'll see where you can enter on the website to win that grill over at Rouse's. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. It's on all their social media as well. Rouse's.com. Football season's here. Few things better than throwing some meat on the grill, cracking open an ice cold beverage, and watching your favorite team play. Rouse's helps you make it happen. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Rouse's, this feels like home. Okay, Kellen Moore met with reporters after practice on Thursday. Coming out of the break, you heard him talk about how the offense looked. Let's play, this is number 6. This is what Kellen thinks about the team overall so far into the 3rd week of camp and now with his joint practice with Jacksonville.
I think it's just a good kind of transition to the next phase of training camp. Training camp early, there's an acclimation, then we compete against each other. And I thought our guys did an excellent job of competing against each other each and every day the last however many, 10 days. Then we transition to this area where we're going to play against a bunch of really good teams. Allows you kind of, hey, they haven't seen all the stuff that you're presenting or the fronts you're running or any of that sort of stuff. And so I think it's just a good refresher to kind of get another set of eyes and another set of opportunities in those same concepts.
So it's good to get a look at someone else. The thing I told you yesterday, the thing that I'm mostly looking for, don't get in fights, don't get hurt. You achieve those 2 ends, great. Now, Jordan Tyson got a little dinged up today. It would look like it was a leg injury by all accounts. Haven't yet gotten a report about the severity of the injury. We'll ask Ross Jackson when he's here in 34 minutes if he's got an update on us on Jordan Tyson's injury. But as of now, it doesn't seem like it's severe, so we'll keep you posted if we get more on that. We just got done talking about Spencer Rattler. This was Kellen Moore on Tyler Shough and his performance here today against Jacksonville.
Yeah, for Tyler, good command. Felt like there were some real positives in there. There's going to be plenty of lessons to learn as we go through this. It's August, whatever it is, middle of August. We got a ways to go. And so there's going to be a lot of work to be done moving forward. But I thought, Tyler did some good things. So
I would love to see, I understand fully why it's not going to happen. But I would love to see Shough get out there and give it a little bit of a go in the preseason game on Saturday. Of course, Anthony Campanile is Jacksonville's defensive coordinator, who was just hired last January, so he's going into year 2 there with the Jaguars. He was previously a linebackers coach with Green Bay before he joined up in Jacksonville. But sometimes it's beneficial to watch your guys get those reps. And I think the thing where I sort of separate with Shough is I got to remind myself that as optimistic as you and I are about Tyler Shough, and I think we probably all are. Is that fair? And maybe it's blind optimism, maybe it's foolish, but I'm looking at the 9-game sample at the end of last year and the way Shough played, and they went 5-4, and I get it. It was against the Jets and the Dolphins in the bottom of the league, the armpit of the league. But he played well. He's got some it factor. They went and did the thing out in San Diego. Drew Brees raved about him. It's like, I'm optimistic about Shough. But he's still only 9 games into his career, like as a starter. And so Whereas if you're 9 years into your career, you don't need preseason. I don't care at all what preseason would show you. I just need you healthy for week one. I feel like I still want to see more from Tyler Shough. So every time he has an opportunity to go get reps, I kind of want to see him go get those reps against another defense. So maybe that's what the purpose of the joint practices today serves for Tyler Shough. And the next 2 weeks, remember the Saints will have joint practices for each of their 3 preseason opponents. But kind of would like to see Shough at least get out there and spin it a little bit against an opponent in a game-like setting in the Dome on Saturday. But certainly doesn't look like we're going to get that opportunity, as it'll be Spencer Rattler starting in the Dome Saturday against Jacksonville. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us. Thursday shows, remember, you can always go check out LouisianaSports.net. Everything's free over at LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits, nothing like that. Just go read it for free. Of course, big story today was our report about Jaden Daniels and his camp requesting that they give back that LSU give back the Heisman Trophy. That's up at LouisianaSports.net if you want to go read it. Ross has a report on Jordan Tyson's injury. Otter locks are posted right now at LouisianaSports.net, so you can always go get it for free there at LouisianaSports.net. Bookmark it and come back every single day. We appreciate you for checking out the website. It's been great growth as we're 2 years into LSN, LouisianaSports.net, and we appreciate y'all for hanging out with us over there every day. Okay, let me knock out a quick break. When we come back, again, Ross Jackson in 30 minutes. Lane Kiffin met with reporters after practice here on Thursday. And aside from, if we put the Jaden Daniels, DJ Pickett talk to the side, as LSU's now a full week into fall camp, 2 days into full pads, where does Lane Kiffin feel his team is now full week into fall camp? You'll hear from Kiffin when we come back on AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. You know what to do. Do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. Get Gordon and get it done. Very excited because the Billboard Design Competition from Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is back. It launches on Monday. So start getting your creative juices flowing. This Monday, August 17th, the GetGordon.com Billboard competition launches again. There's an adult category and a kids category, so adult designs and kid designs are welcome. Prizes are up to $2,000. You can submit as many designs as you want. If you want to learn more, go to getgordon.com/billboards, getgordon.com/billboards. And of course, your design, if you win, could be seen on a billboard around town. GetGordon.com/billboards. Win up to $2,000 in prizes. GetGordon.com/billboards.
I'm Drew Brees.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
It's been a really competitive group. They've really worked hard and done a great job. You know, Eugene Wilson's had a great camp and really stuck out when he was doing great before. So a lot of them are, and I'm excited about the unit. I'm excited about, as we get to Saturday scrimmages, seeing them play, and the quarterbacks have progressed. The passing game in general looks way better than it did in the spring, which is obviously exciting.
Lane Kiffin, after practice on Thursday, the dismount there was, when he was talking about competition at receiver, was the nature of what he was talking about. But he said the passing game looks way better than it did in the spring. That's encouraging for 2 reasons. The most obvious is because Sam Levitt's back. And if Sam Levitt was back and the passing game didn't look better, that would suck. Flatly. There's a reason you paid that guy $4 or $5 million, whatever they paid him. You need him to make the offense go. This isn't like it's this wild idea, this unique thought that I had. I think we all share it. Sam Levitt has to be really good for LSU to be really good this year. So the fact that Lane is pleased is good. The other reason I thought that was interesting is one of the things he was really candid about in the spring was his honesty when the offense didn't look good. There was a scrimmage, you might remember, when LSU it was a scrimmage in Tiger Stadium, and they had 10 offensive possessions. And over the course of those 10 possessions, the quarterbacks combined for 5 interceptions. They lost a fumble and missed a field goal. It was awful. And I still remember the cut from Lane. He said, that was really discouraging. And there were times in spring when he caught himself and he said, I got to remind myself, like it was going to be like this because they weren't going to have Sam Levitt in spring. So they knew it was going to be like this, but he still had to remind. He said, Charlie Weiss, that reminded me, like we knew it was going to be like this without Sam in spring. So they had to maybe recalibrate offensive expectations. And so because he was willing to give us that candor in spring, for him to say he really likes where the offense is right now, I think is encouraging. Remember, we talked previously about those SP Plus rankings, the final preseason SP Plus rankings. And the LSU offense is 21st. The defense is 3rd in the country. LSU's offense is 21st. Like, candidly, if you, I'm doing this on the fly because I hadn't given this thought until it just entered my head. What would you think? Which side of the ball do you think will finish ranked higher by the end of the season, offense or defense? I mean, I get the idea about defense, and Lane even said in the spring, like if we played like that, we would have to be a defensive team, and so I think there's a chance they could be that. Remember the Ole Miss team in 24 finished 3rd in the country, I believe, in total defense. That team with Walter Nolan and Princely Umanmielen, Prince Will's brother, Princely Umanmielen, and Pooh Paul and Trey Amos and all those guys. So, I mean, he has shown the ability to run a team that and operate a team that will lean heavily on their defense. But I think with all the talent on offense, what's going to happen is LSU is going to go fast, score a lot, and as a result, the defense is going to be on the field more. And so you may see the defensive rating and ranking and numbers maybe not look as sterling as they might otherwise. I think 2019 LSU. Like that 2019 LSU defense, I think was 59th nationally. Well, they scored 60 a game. Scored 60 points a game, whatever it was. Like, it wasn't 60, it was 48 or whatever it was. But the point is, when you score 50 a game and you're going fast and scoring a bunch, your defense is on the field a lot. And so that defense gave up a lot of yards and points because they were just on the field so much more. When you think back to the Les Miles era, everything was take the air out of the ball, shorten the game, run clock, slow it down, long drive possessions. Your defense wasn't on the field as much. So even defenses that weren't awesome statistically look better than maybe they were because they weren't on the field as much. So I think you might, kind of feels like we would see that number invert, that the offense would end the season ranked higher than the defense. But if they need to be a defensive team, clearly they feel like they can be. But it's encouraging to hear Lane happy with the offense a week into fall camp. Now, a couple of other things Lane talked about, and specifically this is huge for the offense to get going. It's the offensive line. And for me, like as I look at the roster, we're going to play 7. As I look at the roster, the position battles that are open, there's Bo Bordelon, I think, clearly has solidified the left guard spot. I mean, everything we see out there, there's just no more rotation. Now, we're not watching team drills, but every time we go out there and watch individuals, Bo Bordelon is running at left guard, and everyone has said it. So right tackle is the spot. Right? Weston Davis, Devin Harper, do we see Sean Tompkins, the Baylor transfer, get in the mix? William Satterwhite, the Tennessee transfer, took some reps over there on Saturday. So that, at least at this moment, feels like it's still up for grabs. And Lane was asked about the competition on the offensive line.
Well, it's always open. Not going to get into too much detail on that. But they're doing well. We have a ton of new guys. I think we've added, decent depth so far. And so it's been really good competition, and they perform well. The coaches have done a great job with them, and I'm really pleased where they are, especially in the run game.
Especially in the run game. And the thing that was so interesting, hat tip to Buddy Sanji, a veteran radio guy who in the Lane's had a little good rapport in the back and forth with Buddy in these press conferences because Buddy's questions can be long-winded, and he throws out interesting stats and factoids. And one of the things Buddy threw at Lane the other day was that his over the 6 years in Ole Miss, his teams were the leading rusher in the SEC over 6 years. And so Buddy asked Lane a question today, and he said, you always give him those stats. He said they even fact-checked him from that stat the other day. But it's true, though, that they do rely so heavily on running the football. And very obviously for LSU, the problem the last 2 years has been they've been last and second to last in the SEC in rushing offense. So they got to get the rushing offense going. A big part of that, yes, running backs, but you need your offensive line to be better, and clearly they are. And Jordan Seaton was a guy that Kiffin talked about here on Thursday.
His play has been his leadership by example, the way that he works, the way he's up here extra, watching things, and the way he's taken on younger guys and helped them. It's been phenomenal, and I think it's a really good example that I always try to do is not judge people by what's out there, and what's said out there about him, because he's been perfect from a attention to detail playing wise, and then a teammate. He's been a phenomenal teammate, one that these guys rave about on both sides of the ball.
Jordan Seaton did meet with reporters earlier today out at LSU as well. We'll let you hear some of what he had to say, but I will. The biggest compliment I think that I can pay Jordan Seaton at this point is this is a guy who got broke off. He left Colorado, went in the portal. LSU paid him $4 million. Got broke off. And the question that every NFL team wants to know is, will money change a guy? They want to learn a guy's character. And when you look at Jordan Seaton, he went through a wild recruitment. Remember, it was quick, but it was wild. Flew in here, was at the governor's mansion. His one-day visit became like a 2.5-day visit. He ended up not going to take the visit to Oregon. He flew home to Atlanta. Lane followed him on a late-night flight. They get him. But you wonder, is that going to change him? Is the money going to change him? Well, the opposite has happened. Like, he's gotten his body right. He's been a great leader. He says and does all the right things. He's been everything they wanted him to be. And I think it's a real testament not only to Seaton, but also it's validation for Kiffin and his staff, his front office, for how they identify players and people that they want in their program. So, one of the things Lane was asked the other day was about, it just dawned on me when we were talking about Seaton. He talked about how they've had a relatively quiet offseason. You haven't had off-the-field issues. And I think part of that is identifying good people. Like, not just recruiting talented football players, but talented football players who are also good people who fit your culture. And it appears that they've done that really well. They seem to have hit there with Jordan Seaton as well. All right, it's after further review. We'll do Tigers and the Pros here in just a smidge. We're brought to you by Hancock Whitney Bank. HancockWhitney.com/Matt. That's right. It's my bank. And now I have my own website. That's pretty cool, though, actually, when I think about it. They gave me my own custom URL. HancockWhitney.com/Matt. HancockWhitney.com/Matt is where you can go to learn more. And remember, if you open a checking account at Hancock Whitney, you can get $600 after opening a freestyle checking and freestyle savings account meeting the minimum requirements. So go to HancockWhitney.com/Matt to get started. Remember, minimum deposit, account opening balance, and other requirements apply. Learn more at HancockWhitney.com, member FDIC. HancockWhitney.com/Matt, and you get your custom Saints or LSU debit card, the purple LSU debit card, the black or gold Saints debit card. Be a card-carrying member of the Who Dat Nation or of Tiger Nation. Remember, it's HancockWhitney.com/Matt. All right, y'all, it's after further review. Been a really good show, man. Jam-packed, chock full, tons of good stuff. Thanks for hanging out with us here on this Thursday edition of AFR. If you missed anything, AFR On Demand presented by Brett Golf. We did open the show. I just emptied the bag with all my notes on the Jaden Daniels saga thing. I told you everything I know up until this point. As it develops more, we'll advance the story. We'll do it over at LouisianaSports.net. But if you missed all my conversation, all of our info, sort of just emptying the bag on the Jaden Daniels jersey number thing, you can get that all on demand. Podcast, YouTube. Just search AFR, and you'll get it right there. Okay, it's after further review. Let me knock out our final break here of hour number 2. We'll come back with you Tigers and the Pros. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Y'all, deer season is just about here, and the surest fire way to know that deer season is just about here is because when you walk into Clegg's Nursery, they now have buck busters and mow bucks. That's right. If you want to get out there and set those plots, if you're ready to start preparing, our friends at Clegg's Nursery can help you do it. Start prepping for the upcoming season. They got Buckbusters Premium Seed Mix and the Fall Seed Mix. And now they also have Mobucks in as well. Deer corn, not far down the road, they'll have it as well. So pop into any of the 4 Clegg's Nursery locations and start planning to bag that trophy buck. Clegg's Nursery can help you do it with Buckbusters and Mobucks. Any of the 4 Clegg's Nursery locations. You can always follow Clegg's on social media as well. Go follow their Facebook page, and you'll always see when they get new products in. Buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery. We're brought to you by River Parish Contractors, rpcontractors.com. rpcontractors.com. And I'm so fired up. I was talking to my buddy Ronnie over at River Parish Contractors. As a matter of fact, he just sent me a picture. He's on his tractor right now listening, streaming AFR. But it was a record-setting Q1 this year for River Parish Contractors, but not to be outdone. It was a record-setting Q2 for River Parish Contractors as well. And we're steamrolling toward a record-setting Q3 over at River Parish Contractors. Love telling you about my friends at River Parish Contractors because they're awesome people and they do great work. If you're in need of an industrial contractor and you want the best, you want River Parish Contractors. If you're looking for work, River Parish Contractors is hiring iron workers, pipe fitters, crane operators for job in Geismar. And I say it all the time. East Bank or West Bank, they have work on both sides of the river, and you will be home every night. rpcontractors.com. rpcontractors.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
All right, we're wrapping up hour number 2. Thanks for hanging out with us here. Ross Jackson will be along in about a dozen minutes from right now. We'll get our customary Saints camp report. We got preseason football tonight as well. Fired up for that. Otter Locks is coming along next hour. So we just got a ton to do, and glad you're hanging out with us here right now. Braxton, his maiden voyage. Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
All right, so Alex Bregman had a career night last night. He went 3 of 3. 3 home runs.
Turn the bed down a little bit. Can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
There it is.
My bad.
There we go. Now we got you. There it is.
Now you got me. All right, so Alex Bregman had a career night last night. He went 3 of 3 with 3 home runs, 7 RBIs.
Wow.
First of his career, 3 home runs in one game. Looking so hot that he had 4 home runs, 9 RBIs the past 2. He's looking like he's never been before. But the Cubs get the win over the Nationals, 12-6. Hunter.
How did Dylan Cruz do in that game?
He went 1 of 3. 1 of 3, 1 hit, and 1 strikeout.
It's 333.
Hunter Fedusha.
That's our guy.
Went 1 of 3 from the plate with 1 home run, 1 RBI, and 1 run.
Who does
Dodgers
he play?
get the win over the Royals.
Gotta say who he plays for.
Over the Dodgers. Hunter Fedusha for the Dodgers. Sorry.
God, there it is.
Yes. Get the win over the Royals, 4-2. Tommy White goes 1 of 4 with the Oakland. Almost at Oakland. Sorry.
You did say Oakland.
Oh my gosh, where they at? San Francisco.
Nope,
No?
not San Francisco.
Athletics.
They are just the Athletics now, actually. So they're playing their home games in Sacramento.
Okay.
Until their stadium in Vegas is ready, but they're just going by the Athletics.
Okay,
now.
so I got an excuse of why I forgot.
Yeah, just say the A's or the Athletics. That's
The A's, he 1 of 4 from the plate. Currently has a 244 batting average, so it's a little expected as he just started. So hopefully he bumps it up as he moves on. The Rays get the win over the Athletics, 8-4. Anissa Morrow, WNBA. Anissa Morrow and the Kinetic Sun host Andrew Reese in the Atlanta Dream tonight. Tip off at 6.
Did you say the Kinetic Sun?
Yeah, Connecticut Sun.
Oh, Connecticut.
What did I say? Kinetic?
Let's say kinetic, like kinetic energy.
I probably did.
I'm not a science guy. You know what kinetic means? What does that mean? Are you a science guy?
I've heard of kinetic sand, but no,
Yeah,
I'm not.
You don't know what that is? Yeah. Paulie, you're smart. Do you know what that is? Kinetic?
I do not know.
Oh, you're not that smart, actually. Like static and kinetic? Is that right?
Energy? Is it like energy? Might be.
I'm sitting here asking a question. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I'm not actually a smart person. I sound smart because I know the English language. I do English and reading comprehension. Math and science, I am an idiot.
Math was my strong subject. And
Oh.
Yep.
I would have cheated off of you. Might have gotten into a better school. I shouldn't say that. I loved LSU. It was great. LSU was great for me. I loved it.
I wouldn't
was
complain.
not good at math.
Well, that was it for Tigers in the Pros.
Okay, brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020. 924-2020. 924-2020. You want to see 2020? Call 924-2020 for the Williamson Eye Center. Schedule that consultation with Dr. Blake Williamson. Hey, remember, as we move toward the end of the year, it's weird to think that, right? But we're already in the 8th month of the year. Before the year is over, maybe you have HSA or FSA funds. You want to use that for your refractive procedure. You can, and maybe you're sitting there thinking, Matt, that sounds all great, but I'm not a candidate for LASIK. Okay, well, I was told I wasn't a candidate for LASIK for years. Turns out I was a perfect candidate for LASIK. It just took an ophthalmologist and Dr. Blake Williamson to examine me to determine I was a great candidate for LASIK. But maybe you aren't. Well, that's okay. They have Evo ICL, which is a implantable contact lens. That's an alternative to LASIK. There's PRK. There's custom lens replacement. There's so many different procedures that could help you wake up in the morning and just see. Do away with the readers forever, contacts and glasses. Just wake up in the morning and see. Dr. Blake Williamson makes that dream a reality for people every single day. It's the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. Remember, you can always email us, tweet us, or text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400 if you want to get involved. Feel free to do it. When we come back after the top of the hour, we'll get you caught up on national headlines. Ross Jackson will be here, give us a Saints camp report from today's joint practice with the Saints and the Jacksonville Jaguars. We will let you hear a little more from Lane Kiffin next hour. And we'll start to preview a little Thursday night preseason football. Jimmy will be here for Auto Locks. My goodness, I'm so fired up. Football tonight. What are you talking about? Seahawks, Patriots. Let's go.
AFR.
Never mind. It's Packers and Steelers. It's Packers and Steelers tonight. Seahawks, Patriots. That's a replay of the Super Bowl. That's not tonight. The replay's tonight. The Super Bowl is not tonight. Tonight is the Packers, Steelers, Cowboys, Raiders, Titans, Niners. I'm so fired up for this. You know what else I'm fired up for? Parrish Construction and Roofing. Because tomorrow when Terrio's here, we get to announce our fortified roof giveaway winner for Baton Rouge. Remember, we ran this promotion for about a month, and we're ready to announce our fortified roof giveaway winner for Baton Rouge. I think next week we'll get to announce our New Orleans winner. We love being able to bless people, man. We've given away $50,000 cash across our cash giveaways, and now we get to give away 2 free fortified roofs in partnership with our partner, Drew Brees, Pro Football Hall of Famer Drew Brees. ParrishBuilt.com. Repairs, replacements, commercial, residential, gutter, soft wash. ParrishBuilt.com.